Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, it's Jackie Cation, and you are listening to The Dork Forest. The website's JackieCation.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com if you like a determiner. Let's do the credits. Patrick Brady's going to fix this audio and video. Vilmos works on JackieCation.com, and Mike Rickberg sang the song with his wife, Sarah. He composed it, and he will sing his version of the Mexican hat dance at the end of this show. Thank you so much for listening to The Dork Forest. Here's a scoop. I'm doing stand-up online. A lot of Zoom shows will eventually go back on the road. Sign up for my email list. It's easy to get off. It's harder to get on than it is to get off. And no harm, no foul. If ever bored, JackieCation.com, sign up for the email list. You'll find out about my weekly Zoom shows and stand up on the road eventually. You may donate to the show if you would like. I would like. Sure, I would. There's PayPal, Jackie at JackieCation.com, and there is a PayPal button on both DorkForest.com and JackieCation.com. And there's Venmo, if you like Venmo, Jackie-Cation, oddly enough. If you have listened to all of the shows, go to dorkforest.bandcamp.com, I think. The Dork Forest has a Bandcamp page. You can listen to a lot of ones that are free from pre-2009 when I started pre-recording. And then there's live episodes that cost me a couple of bucks, so I charge you a couple of bucks. There's also some stand-up. There's a story album that's very exciting there. And other than that, I have a lot of merch in my garage. Feel free to order if you know anybody who doesn't have any CDs or the DVD. And you can follow me everywhere at Jackie Cation. Let's get into the show. Hi, Jackie Cation in my living room with Atlanta comic and proud married guy and dad, I assume, because you have another podcast about being a dad. And you had a great Instagram, whatever. You guys, it's Damon Sumner. Welcome to the program.
Appreciate it, Jackie. I'm feeling good, excited to be here.
Yeah, we're going to dork out. That is just, that's the good times. Damon Sumner, stand-up comic from Atlanta, Georgia, but on Instagram, it's Damon, D-A-M-O-N, Junior, J-R, and the number 2. And then on Twitter, it's just Damon Jr. And is it DamonSumner.com? I forgot to ask. For a regular website?
It is DamonSumner.com. You got it.
So if people can find all the things there, if they just want to start there. And
all the things.
All the things are there. You have a podcast with your wife called Sum It Up with the Sumners. That is a nice podcast name because your name is Sumner.
Yeah. My old roommate actually gave it to us randomly. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much, we're just going to sum up some things that we did. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. And just if it brings you value, great. But we're going to talk about our failures and we'll go from there.
Exactly right, and then eventually the successes of being able to talk about it is its own success. Quite honestly,
it's its own success.
It's so true. I know. I'm married. I am like, we're just plugging along. How are we doing? I like to check in. But so is Summing Up with the Sumners weekly?
It is. We drop every new episodes every Tuesday, and that's really what it is. We're just trying to plug along and say, hey, let's just talk about plugging along together. You know, because we started in August, of 2020, and we had missed. We love hosting people, having people over, and we was like, man, we miss just kind of talking about life and and so the podcast, of course, is kind of one-sided, but it has brought about great conversations, and hopefully for people who listen, it's kind of a conversation starter for those couples as well.
Right, because that will, because at the very least, you're just like, because you could be joking about the things that kind of bother you, because you still love all the things that you love about the person that you married, but sometimes you forget those things. You just kind of take them for granted, and then the one thing that is driving you nuts is building some sort of weird canyon, drip, drip, drip. And so I think that's a great idea for a podcast, so... Good work. We are going to.
I'm excited.
You gave me
Thank you.
many topics to dork out about, and then you listened to Joelle Johnson explaining "Gone with the Wind" to me,
I did.
beat by beat.
Woo.
And she's in Atlanta now.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
So you wanted to tell me about another movie I've never seen, though I do enjoy Denzel Washington.
Listen. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut you off.
Please, no. This is your hour.
I just wanted to give commend you guys for going through. I've never seen Gone with the Wind, and I was listening intently for the whole hour. I was locked in.
Yeah, because I was I didn't know. I loved the angle that she came from. If people have not listened to the Joel Johnson, she saw it when she was 11, and she fell in love with the dresses. Then we go forward, and you're like, what? And she fell in love with how crazy that woman was. And that is some Real Housewives nonsense. And so if you liked Real Housewives, perhaps you would enjoy the movie Gone with the Wind. The movie Remember the Titans is a sport movie. That's about football, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
With Denzel?
You are absolutely correct.
Okay.
And it is absolutely with Denzel Washington. And a couple things to know, just off top, because when I heard that and I thought about the episode, I had a couple good topics. But then I was like, man, it would do a disservice to me if I did not come on here and talk about the best sports movie of all time, Remember the Titans, with arguably the best actor of our generation.
What?
So I'm
Best
hyped. I'm pretty
sports
hyped,
movie
Jackie.
Of all time.
I'm hyped.
That I have seen many sports movies just because you can't not. The only other Denzel sports movie I have seen is the basketball one, where Spike Lee tries to make him unattractive and almost succeeds.
Oh.
He got game.
He got game, yeah.
Right, where he plays the dad of the basketball player guy.
Jesus Shuttleworth.
That's it? Wow, nice one. Do you consider Drumline a sports movie? I consider it a marching band movie that I enjoyed a great deal, quite honestly.
That is a fantastic question. First I want to give respect to anybody who used to rock the marching band back in the day. So I want to give that respect. But no, I would consider it more of a kind of music movie,
That's right. Like a Footloosey, but Drumline, because it's the drum corps.
Yes.
Got it? All right.
Yeah. Now, if you watch Drumline, because it is a cult classic for sure, and it kind of plays off of HBCUs, and black colleges and things of that nature with the music and halftime shows.
Right.
But no, I would not label it as a sports movie.
Right. Just because it takes place at a sporting event, it does not make it a sports movie.
Fair.
The other sports movies I think I've seen. My brother loves Rudy. That's that unlikely guy who gets to play football for a minute at Notre Dame.
Whole minute.
And then and Hoosiers, which is that weird 50s basketball with that. I think Gene Hackman.
I think it was Gene Hackman, yeah.
Yeah, the rich man's Dabney Coleman, in my opinion. But so Return of the Titans, when does it take place?
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans, not Return of the Titans. What is that? I think Return of the Titans is a claymation movie.
It could be.
I think that's about Jason and the Argonauts. Remember the Titans is entirely different.
Yes.
What year did it come out?
It came out in year 2000. It came out in September of 2000.
Okay.
And this was a big year. I'm in middle school in this time here. And so, I'm still, we're not going to let any ageism get into this.
No, but that's a window. That's a window, right?
Right. And so it was just an era. Can I just dive in? Can I get into, I'm pretty hyped. So I saw the movie. The first time I saw the movie was actually at school. I saw it in the spring of 2000, if I'm correct. And I was, I think I was in 8th grade. And I remember just like, first off, I'm already like, Denzel, football, I'm in. I played football. I'm like, let's go. This is a win-win here.
Yeah.
Now, I stopped playing football, just a side note, because like I used to be a running back, right? Run the ball here for those who aren't big into football.
Right.
And then one summer, I went to my grandmother's house in Shreveport, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And then she introduced me to pound cake and sweet potato pie on a daily basis. And then I got moved to defense. And so my speed was gone. And but anywho, I saw it in middle school.
Right. I'm glad. I believe one of my nephews played football until he saw some documentary about brain damage. So then he was like, "I'm good. Gonna want to use this for the whole time."
Whole time.
Yeah. So 2000, it comes out. You end up seeing it at school.
Yeah, I see it at school, and literally, I'm hooked. I'm all in from now. If you've never seen it, it starts out, which is one of my favorite type of ways it starts out. It starts out right with the ending. So it's like, hey, this is it. We're at a funeral, and you're like, oh shoot, wait a minute.
No.
And so.
Yeah, that is dark. They start out. Who dies? This is not a spoiler,
So I
and
can't-
this movie is 21 years old. So, low in your
Fair.
hearts.
Fair.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen it by now, you're doing yourself a disservice.
But they don't
so
tell you
one of
who dies?
No, they don't tell you. They don't tell you
Okay.
to the last 3 minutes of the movie. They don't tell
Okay,
you.
then we will save it for the last 3 minutes of this podcast.
Fair. I
Okay.
respect that. I respect that. So they start off with this, and we see just this small moment here where it really kind of starts like Virginia football is the way of life. Which, if you grow up in a football city or even a heavy football state, there's truth in that, right? There's truth in that for sure.
For sure. Nebraska, I grew up in Wisconsin. I know things about the Green Bay Packers that there's no reason for me to know.
Oh yeah,
Just through osmosis.
no reason.
No reason.
Absolutely. And so I watched it this morning. I was hype about the episode today with you, and I was
cool.
like, let me just watch it again. I've got time.
Do you
So
own
it's
it?
fresh on my mind. You understand? It's very fresh on my
Yeah,
mind. I
that's awesome.
don't own it. I do not own it. But yeah, so I'm watching it, and one thing, this has hit me today. I did not pay attention to. I've seen this movie 10 times. Now, I know that's not a lot to some people, but I'm not a rewatcher, right? So I have a friend who's watched the whole series of The Office like 40 times. That's not who I am, right? That's just not me.
Right. Yeah.
So for me to say I've watched the movie 10 times, that's a lot for me, right?
Yeah.
But I watched it this morning, Jackie, and I did not know that the movie starts. It comes on. It's this peaceful moment of the funeral, 1981. It takes us back to July of 1971, and the city of Alexandria, Virginia, is freaking out. Somebody has killed a black boy who was a white store owner. It has never crossed my mind that's how they start the movie until 2021. And I was like, wait, what? I rewound it back. I was like, that's how the movie starts. And in light of everything,
Yeah.
I found this out.
Right. Because since the advent of the iPhone camera, we're like, oh, it happens every day. Because in 2000, we had just Rodney King, and that's all we had. And
That's all we had.
Okay. So, So, good Lord.
I'm like, whoa, okay. The tensions are high. The tensions are high, and it starts off. A couple of background information here. I know you like your background information, Jackie, so I'm gonna give it to you.
Let's hear the
and
minutia.
So, the 1971 in Alexandria here, they are combined. Now, this is based on a true story. That's also important to know, right? So it's based on a true story here. And what happens is they're going to integrate these two schools, black high school, white high school, right? Starts off with the white high school football team. They're practicing. They're having a great day. Things are good. And then one of the players comes down. He's not practicing, which, well, I don't even know why he wasn't dressed out. Like, the players are working out in sweats. He just comes down in a tank top and some jeans. I'm like, bro, what's really good? He's like, fight! It's going down in the city. Come on! They leave practice. The white players, the coach is like, we'll get to the coach in a second. They all go take off. The coach gets in his pickup truck, meets them at the store. He's like, listen, if you want to play for me, get in the truck. You're not going to be a part of this nonsense. Get in the truck. Boom. And this is where we get our first two main characters, specifically and respectfully at the white high school.
Right.
We've got, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not great with like real names, only know character names. So let's
fair
just.
enough. Yeah. Let's,
If me and you were actually on a pub trivia team, I think we would come in like fourth for effort, but we're going to not remember a lot of stuff.
Right. Okay, so what's the character's name?
Now, two other things. Uh-oh, did I freeze? Did I freeze again?
You might have not heard me ask who the white coach was. Is Ryan Gosling?
Yes.
Is Ryan Gosling in this movie?
Ryan
That's
Gosling,
weird.
he was the boy who was not dressed out. He was the boy who was just running
he's the
down,
cool
chilling.
kid.
This is
Okay. He's too cool for practice.
Yeah.
All right.
too cool for practice, and rightfully so, as we'll get to in a little bit here. So Bill Yost, all right, is the white coach here. Coach Yost, they call him Coach Yost.
Okay.
Is on that side, right? So that's boom, white practice. Now here comes, we we go back, they take the boys, Coach Yost takes the boys back to his office, Jackie. He's like, listen, let's cool down, let's chill out, right? Things are hot, right? Mm-hmm. As he's doing this, Denzel Washington, Coach Boone, Herman Boone, just standing stoic, looking into the window, right? Just like Denzel do, do, right?
Inside, it's all happening inside.
All in, he's in. And, another coach who, I forget his name. He's like another white coach who is not going to have anything to do with anybody black. We'll call him Coach T for the sake of this conversation. He doesn't deserve our attention. And so he's like, what's going on here? He's like, well, I'm Coach Boone, and I'm here to be your assistant. And Coach T is like, yeah, we're good. No, thank you. And Coach Yost, right, the white high school coach, I'm gonna use a white and black for a few more seconds until we got the lay of the land here, nice and clear.
Do it.
And so Coach Yost is like, I didn't hire you; you were assigned to me. And Coach Boone is like, listen, well, I'm here to win, I'm here to work. And so already here we have this tension, right? We already have this tension here. We clearly see these two coaches. So Coach Boone is here to be the assistant to Coach Yost, okay?
Right,
Boom.
right.
That's part one right there. That's important to know. Now, we get to the next piece of the puzzle. This is where it starts revving up here, right? For whatever reason, the city's like, yo, we got to do something about all this racial tension. Let's make the black coach the head coach. Oh, no, Jackie, this is deep. This is big. This is big because Coach Yost is going into the Virginia Hall of Fame this year, and this is his important year to solidify that stature.
Right.
City's not having it.
Oh, no.
City's not having it, right?
It's his last year. They're going to demote the guy on his last year. Is there someone actually trying to create? Is that based on truth, do you think?
Yes, that specific piece was based on truth. Yep.
That sounds like someone's trying to start a fight right there. Holy smokes. Okay.
So the city, the white folks, they get together in an old Applebee's or Black Eyed Peas or something of that. And so they get in, they're like, Coach Yost is like, and Coach is trying to be chill. He's like, listen, I'm going to take the year off. I'm just going to kind of relax and I'm going to move on. I'm going to the Hall of Fame. It's not a big deal. And they're like, no, we ain't playing for him. He took your job. I say boycott T.C. Williams. Boycott. He's like, settle down, guys. Chill. Because the white players are there, too. They're like, we're not playing for him. Right? So they got this whole thing. And he's looking around like, I can't leave these boys. I have been with them since they've been like elementary. So he's kind of feeling his way emotionally, right?
Yeah.
So let me pause and say something about just the movie in general here. Because I'm kind of excited. I got to slow down. I'm pretty hyped. Because my friends know that when I start talking about Remember the Titans, I don't talk to a lot of people because they shut me down. So what I'll say
Thank
is
God
this.
you've chosen this topic. Go ahead.
What I'll say about this movie is this. One reason why I feel it's such a great movie. It's my favorite movie of all time. If I didn't say that, it is my favorite movie of all time, and I think it's the best sports movie of all time. But one of the main reasons why I love this movie so much is that it gives you all emotions, right? All great movies, any movie that you love, probably is going to give you most or all different type of emotions.
Right.
You're going to laugh, right? You're going to be upset, right? You're going to have a little anger in here. There's going to be that drama, that suspense, that tension, right? Mm-hmm. You might get emotional at the end. We'll talk about that later. You're going to hit all different type of emotions, right? So that's one thing I really love about this movie because at the moment, they're just building tension. They are. Now, mind you, we saw at the end already when it started that we were united, right? At the funeral. Okay. And I didn't say that. All the black and all the white players, coaches, we were all together at the funeral.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay.
All right. So we move on now. We get to, and there's going to be some big moments I want to point out. And let me know when I'm going too winded here. Now, I'll fast forward.
Not a chance. But you may have to fast forward because we're 15 in.
Okay. That's going to work. Here we go. So we move on.
By the way, I am talking to Damon Sumner, and you should listen to Sum It Up with the Sumners, which is his podcast. There you go.
Yes, appreciate it. Please do. And so we get to one big moment here when the black players, they're excited about being with a black coach, right? And one little small nugget here is that Coach Boone moves into the new neighborhood. The white neighbors are looking out the window. They thought they were the movers. They're like, how many is it going to be? They're like, oh, shoot, one move in, the whole neighborhood gone, right? So they kind of, they're looking from the blinds. Nobody says hello. Nobody's bringing over pies like Leave It to Beaver. Like, it's not that type of moment, right?
Right. It's the other moment.
So at that night, the first night there, Coach Boone, he comes outside of his front door and he's like, yo, what is going on with all this commotion? Why is it so loud outside my house? And he opens up the door and it's just pretty much all the black parents and families and their kids who are going to be on the team. And they're just like, listen, you are a coach, right? And so it's this big moment of pride for the black people of that neighborhood who feel like they've never had anything but despair and humiliation, as one person says in the movie.
Fair enough.
Right? So we get to the locker room. This is a big moment here because the black players are hyped. They come in, they're excited. Coach Boone comes in as an enforcer. He's like a dictator, right? And so he comes in, he's like, stop smiling. We ain't high-fiving. We ain't playing around. We ain't doing none of that. We here to work, okay? We here to work.
I feel like that's typecasting. I feel like that is Denzel Washington's actual MO. He is just like, this is great. We're going to do this, but we are here. I am here to get some work done. And
Absolutely. And so we get a chance to meet some of the other important black players on the team. You ever seen Scrubs, the TV show?
Nope. So there's other actors that I don't know. But there's... I haven't seen anything, sadly. I've seen all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm so sorry.
Yes, this is true.
I saw Black Widow
you're also an
yesterday.
avid reader. I know a little bit about you here from your other podcast.
Right.
So Donnell Faison is from Scrubs, the main. He's in there. He's Petey. Petey's important to know because he thinks he's going to be a great running back. Okay. Then you got Rev. Rev is the starting black quarterback, right? He's Rev because, he believes in God, et cetera, et cetera.
He's the Reverend. He's the Reverend.
He's the guy. Who's going to pray at every meal? Rev is going to pray at every meal.
It's going to be Rev, yes.
And then you've got Julius Campbell. Now, Julius Campbell is one of the main players and one of the main characters in the whole movie. That's important to Julius. Julius is a all-American defensive linebacker, right? All right, boom. So you got those guys. You got Blue. Blue's kind of just another smaller character, right, who likes to sing and tries to bring people together. I'm giving you all these details. So when we get into the meat, you got me.
Right.
So as they're kind of meeting Coach Boone, as the black players are hype and talking to Coach Boone, here comes a very large, respectfully, just big white dude coming. He rushes in. Everybody's like, brother, you lost? What's happening here? And he's like, hey, I just moved in. I'm from a Navy family. They say I play football. I want to hit people. What's up? Let's go. and his name's LASIK. Good dude. I'm not going to go to coach. I'm not going to college, coach. I just want to play. I just want to enjoy people. And then boom, all of a sudden, Jackie, in the midst of the first practice, the white players with the white coaches walk in. Doors slam. They walk in little Oxford shirts and boat shoes and khakis. And it's tense, right? Yeah, it's tense. Yeah. It's a standoff. And so Coach Boone's like, yo, Coach, you just disrespected my first practice, right? And he's like, well, listen, I want to run the defense. I want the starters. He's like, no. This ain't your team no more. If you want to be with me, I will allow Coach T, but I'm watching him to be a part, right? And then I will also let you be my assistant. Now, boom, we get to a big moment here where we meet Cheryl. Let me say something about Cheryl. Cheryl is Coach Yote's only daughter. His wife left him, and the daughter stayed because she loves football. She loves her dad. She is, there was a TV show called Heroes. She was the cheerleader. There was a TV show called Nashville. Oh, yeah. She was like a singer or something.
I saw Heroes.
Like Hayden.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Save the cheerleader, save the world. There it is.
Panettiere. I've got Louis Lastic is Ethan Suppley. Rev is played by a guy named Craig Kirkwood. Petey's got Donald Faison. These are people. Okay, go ahead. These are actors. I got some names, but so Cheryl comes in.
So Cheryl comes in. Now Hayden, Cheryl's a little girl. She's 9.5. And she loves football. She loves coach. She loves her dad. She loves the team. She loves the town. She's all in. You understand what I'm saying? And she is not happy. She is pissed about this situation. She thinks Coach Boone took her job. She thinks everything is disrespectful to her dad's legacy. And she's not having it, right?
Right.
So we get a chance to meet her because she's going to be a big piece of the puzzle as well, right?
Okay.
She's actually the narrator for the movie, right? So when the movie starts, she's the one who's talking. When the movie ends, she's the one who's talking.
Okay.
Got it. All right, here we go. So, boom, we get to the first practice, right? Now, the first practice, actually, let me back up for half a second. One of the big moments, Jackie, is that they're going to camp. They're going to camp. They're going to go away for a few weeks, train, practice, right? And Gary
This is
Busey,
a high school?
This is a high school.
They have a go-away football camp at a high school.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right.
Yep. 2 weeks. So as they're getting ready to get on the bus, right? Everybody's got on a suit and tie. Gary Butier. Now I told you the black linebacker, the star, Julius Campbell. Now Gary Butier is the white star linebacker. Okay? That's important. We got Gary, we got Julius. So Coach Boone is getting everybody on the bus. Gary, with his friend Ray, he comes on and he talks directly to Coach Boone. He's like, listen, we don't need none of y'all players on defense. You give us half the starters on offense. He's talking to him like this is man to man. Like, dude, you're 17. Sit down, right?
Right. It's like, I don't know if you know this, but I do this for a living. You were a child.
Please, sir.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
You still have Batman pajamas. Settle down.
Pardon me, young man. You, this is not your employment. This is a hobby for you. Okay.
Absolutely. So they come trying to be disrespectful, and sarcastically he calls them Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin because clearly they're making jokes. Clearly this is some type of 1-2 tandem here.
Yes.
And so he kind of he does that, puts them in their place. He says, this is my team. Whose team is this? It's your team. Yeah, right. And who's your daddy? You're my daddy. Yeah. All right. Now get on that bus. Get on that bus, boy. And so one big moment here. This is the first big moment of them becoming a team. Is that the whites were on the white bus and the blacks were on the black bus. He's like, no, we ain't doing that. Defense on this bus. Integrate. White and black people who want to play offense on this bus, right? And then whoever you sit with is going to be your roommate as well.
Okay. And this is 1981.
This is 1971. This
is back in 71. Got it. All right.
This is 71. When the movie starts at the funeral, it's 81, right?
Got it.
And so, so we go to the camp. The camp takes about 30 minutes of the movie. So this significant moments happen right here.
The training.
Right?
This is the training montage where we all become a team.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, this is Disney, baby. We got to have the montage.
Oh, that's right. It is Disney.
Yeah. And so we get to camp. Right, tensions are high. Right, Julius and Gary, they're roommates. Julius tries to put up a black power poster, right, from the Olympics. He's like, nah, I'm not having that. He's like, well, listen, you gotta put on your Superman X-ray vision. You're gonna have to look through it, bro. And they get into a tussle. Right, here comes Ryan Gosling again. Bye. And so everybody comes in, right, and they start fighting. Boom.
Has he worn sweats yet?
Not
yet.
Not yet. Not broken a single sweat. And so a lot of things happen that aren't important for the sake of time here, but we'll get to the moment, one moment that's the next big piece of the puzzle here. So at the camp, right, they're practicing, and what happens is that Petey, right, running back, he keeps fumbling the ball, and we get a chance to see more of Denzel's character as Coach Boone. He's very aggressive. He's going to verbally abuse you. Kind of really classic, old school coach football.
Coach guy,
right?
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
He's going to bust your chops, and it's going to be like that. Okay.
Yep. I grew up in that era, so it just they kind of portray that with Coach Boone, right? So that happens. And then they go to the cafeteria. LASIK, big boy, he wants to sit with the black people. He's like, yo, dude, you're at the wrong table. He's like, dude, y'all all my people. And so they do a great job of LASIK trying to be this underlining thread of like, yo, like, we just all people, man.
We're all defense. Yeah. So this is, you were my teammates. Yeah.
And so he knows a lot about, so Lasik knows a lot about his roommate, and nobody else does. So Coach Boone's like, yo, all right, everybody from this day forward, you got to learn about your teammates, all right? And if you don't, we're going to do practices 3 times a day. We're going to do 3 days until everybody has met everybody on this team, right? And so everybody's just like, this is the worst, right? Now, this is another caveat, but this is important for the end of the story. So Ray, if you remember at the beginning, I said Gary came up with his friend Ray, Jerry Lewis, and Dean Martin.
Right.
Ray is Gary's friend, okay? Ray is not going to be on the right side of history. Spoiler alert. Ray's not on board with this change. Ray is a fullback. A fullback is basically a blocker, right?
Okay.
So he doesn't get the ball a lot. He just blocks and tries to keep the quarterback safe and keep the running back safe. Now, he's not really blocking. And Gary knows this. He's like, I'm going to start. I'm just buying my time. This whole situation's trash, right? That's just a little caveat to know for later. And so as we do this, we're still fighting. We're still arguing, right? And so big moment here. Second big moment of the movie. We're at the camp. It's 3:00 in the morning. Alarms are going off, right? And Coach Boone takes everybody downstairs. He's like, we're finna run. We're finna run at 3 a.m. We're finna go for a jog. Now, Coach Yost here he's been giving us few breadcrumbs, and he gives another breadcrumb. He's like, yo, Coach Boone, this is kind of flirting with crazy right here. All Coach Boone does is just smile, and he says, let's go, right? He says, if you don't make it, just head on back to Alexandria. We don't need you, right? So they jog in the middle of the night, and they end up where the Battle of Gettysburg actually happened.
Okay.
So I didn't tell you, they went to Gettysburg College for camp.
Right.
And so, of course, you've got the dramatic music, you've got the fog, you've got the speech, you got the coach.
Because it's dawn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the air is moist, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got Denzel with his back to you. Woo, It's a moment, you understand? And he gives this big speech about just how these men who fought and died are going to be, you're going to be like them if we can't get past this, right? And so this is a big moment here. This is a big moment. And we get more breadcrumbs that, kind of leads us in the right direction. Now, Jackie, we're still not where we need to be yet, but we're slowly making leeway, okay? We're now beginning to have a few jokes. We're now beginning to have a little bit of an interaction, right?
There's some camaraderie. We're 4 days into camp. We're a week into camp.
We're about a week into camp. Now, 2 big more things happen here. Number 1, we get a new player. New player comes into town, and he comes again from like a Marines family.
Okay.
And so now this is 1971, Southern Virginia, buzz cuts, short hair, and the player, right, the son, comes out from California, long, just gold, pretty hair. They call him Sunshine. And so Gary kind of makes this, just rude remark, untimely and untasteful remark. Say, hey, we don't need no fruitcakes on the team, he says, 1971.
That's right.
And
he's on the wrong side of history on all the topics. Gary is.
Ray is the room.
No, that's right. It's Ray.
But Gary is showing his beginning shell before he morphs, right?
Okay.
And so he picks up the football, throws the football, hits Gary. Everybody's like, oh yeah, he can make the team. He'll be fine. And so another piece of the puzzle, another big moment here is that Gary and Julius, I told you they were crucial. They finally get into it. They finally have their big moment where they're like, listen, man, let's just get to know each other well. We still ain't friends. Let's be very clear. We're still not friends. And Julius is like, you don't want to really get to know me? He's like, you don't want to know me. Because if you want to, you're the leader of the team. He's like, Gary's like, I am the leader. Right? Well, then won't you tell Ray to start blocking for Rev and Petey because you are not doing your job. You can't call me out, right? Because he was calling out Julius for having a bad attitude. He was like, one of my favorite lines, he said, attitude reflects leadership, Captain. And that's just one of my favorite lines because it's true. Attitude does reflect leadership to a degree, right?
Now, unpack that for me, though, because it's like it's essentially put in all the rest of that sentence, right?
Right.
It's your attitude reflects the kind of leadership you provide?
Right, so he's trying to chew out Julius for not busting his tail and helping the team. When he's like, nobody's busting their tail. Everybody's being individualistic. I'm not gonna bust my tail if Ray's not gonna block. You're doing your own thing. Everybody's one-on-one, right?
Right.
And so there's still not this unity. There's still not this united front yet. So don't come at me as the captain, right? And so he's saying our attitude is bad. And he's saying, so before you check me, before you look at the plank in my eye, look at the plank in your own eye. Right?
Okay, right, because it's you have the leadership, you have the example of leadership,
Yes.
or the example of attitude,
Right.
because you're the leader, which is why the rest of us have this crummy attitude.
Absolutely.
Got it. Okay.
All right, trickle down. Trickle down. All right. And so now Gary realizes this. Gary's like, oh shoot, you okay, that's kind of true. I ain't really called out Ray. I haven't really said much to anybody else, right? So after all this happens, Sunshine comes, they have this moment, they're practicing at night. This here is the fulcrum moment of the movie. It's one of my favorite moments of all the movies. It's one of my favorite moments in this movie here. It's one of my favorite moments in all of cinema. Listen to me, people. I don't like to speak in hyperbole, but this is my only time on this show, so I'm giving y'all the exaggeration, all right? So
we're going big. Let's hear it.
We're practicing at night, right? They've got the headlights on. It's nighttime, and they're just car lights. Like this is Gettysburg College. There's no like big lights. It's just like buses with their lights on. They're running this play over and over, right? They haven't gotten it right. And so Ray, the fullback, does not block for Petey, right? And then Gary checks him in front of everybody, right? And Coach T is about to go stop it. And Coach Yost is like, whoa. Let them handle this. Let them handle this. And Ray's like, what are you doing checking me, dude? What's good? We're friends. She's like, oh, you better get with it. You better get into it, brother. Because we going to play hard, right? Because Ray's on offense. Gary and Julius are on defense. And so the next play, right, the moment's building, the music's going. Woo-hoo, I see it. I got goosebumps right now, Jackie. And so the moment's going. The next play happens, right? Ray doesn't block again. Julius comes and lays out Rev. Boom. And now the defense is hype. And then Gary pushes Julius because they're on defense together. And he says, yeah. He goes left side because they're playing on the left side. And then Julius is like, did you just push me? But he realizes Gary's trying to rev him up. We're together. Camaraderie. He goes strong side. And they go left side, strong side, left side, strong side, left side, strong side. And the defense gets out like, oh. And that is the moment where what? The music drops, another montage. Boom. Unity is building and we're taking off from the races, right?
Okay. All right. Do you know that I have a friend of mine who says left side, strong side regularly? Her name is Jenny Bergman. She owns a toy store in New York City.
Wow.
Yeah, very weird. She clearly loves Remember the Titans.
Clearly.
I know that she has always enjoyed Denzel Washington. Before Denzel Washington, huge Tom Cruise fan. So I think she likes a dreamy dude where the wind blows. Anyway, because Denzel, a handsome gentleman. Anyway, so left side, strong side, this is where the unity comes. Okay.
This is where the unity comes. You get the big montage now. We're working together. We're busting our tail. We're having a great time, right? Just a small little piece of the puzzle, which was just funny, is that Sunshine, he has to get his hair cut. Boom, he cuts it off really short. They're cracking your mama jokes. Everybody's having a good time. And Sunshine, which we never really find out, which is not important, Sunshine's kind of like playing around with Gary being silly, and then Sunshine kisses Gary. They get into a tussle. Everybody's like, whoa, wait a minute. Julius was gone. He comes back. He's like, why y'all fighting? What's up? And Gary's like, he kissed me, right? Next day, Petey's like, yo, it doesn't matter. We're roommates, but I just want to know, I just want to know. He's like, well, if it don't matter, I need to know, okay? So anyway, that was the caveat. Now, we get back. Reality sets in. They're singing back on the bus. They're coming back. And the parents are like, are they brainwashed? Yeah, they're united. And the parents are like, what is going on, right? They're high-fiving each other. They're hugging. Oh, but the world is still the same old world, right? And so Coach Boone's parents, Coach Boone's family, just a side note, they meet Coach Yote's family, which is really Cheryl, the daughter.
Yep.
Small little piece of the puzzle. Again, Cheryl, 9-year-old girl, loves football. And then Nikki is Coach Boone's daughter. She's probably the same age, but she's a very, like, quote unquote, girly girl. Nails, dolls, all that jazz, right?
Right. Not football.
Not football. So we're back in reality. We cut to the school. Things are tense. Protesters are there, cops are there, disrespects in the hallway. We're tussling in the hallway. That moment, they're like, "Oh, this ain't it, right?"
Right.
And so they just got to deal with it, right? They got to get to it. All right, let's go to work. So again, that's the first 45 minutes of the movie is the build-up. We're a team, though. T.C.
Right.
Williams Titans, we're a team.
Okay.
Now let's play football. All right, so we get to the football. Game 1, we win. We're hyped. We're feeling good. Nothing crazy there. Let's get to game 2. In game 2, Jackie here. Now, again, I know you don't know a ton about football here, so I'm just going to tell you one small thing. The quarterback, right? The quarterback who usually gets all the praise and all the struggles when they lose, right? They are arguably the most important piece on the team, but they are nothing without a good offensive line. Offensive linemen are the big men who protect the quarterback, right?
Okay, right.
Okay. So, as we're going into the second game, we're not playing good. TC is not playing good. Tensions are high. Things are kind of tough. And I'm leaving all type of stuff out, but we just got to keep moving. So we get to the second game and we're barely winning. And we can kind of feel like we ain't as tight as we thought we were when we were back at camp, right? Like that unity that we had is kind of fuzzing out because we're just not at camp isolated, right? It's like if you go and you just have and sometimes you could be on the road, right, as a comic, or you could just be wherever and you're just together for a small pocket of time and things are great. And then you go do a terrible one now. You're like, oh, this is life. This is.
Yeah. This is entirely, it's like festivals versus just working with different features. Yeah.
Yes.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're back to it, and Gary, his mom, right? He's trying to, so Gary, just a couple of small things about Gary specifically. Gary, his dad died. And Gary's like, Mom, I'm finna go play basketball with Julius at the Berg. She's like, where you going to the Berg? I want to play with Julius, right? My black good friend. She's like, no, what are you doing, man? If your father, Mom, stop it, okay? Okay, stop. Let's do this.
Real conversation.
Yes, let's do this. Come on. And he's like, get to know him. She says, and I quote, I don't want to get to know him. It's like, oh, goodness, Mom, come on. Right? So that's one piece of the puzzle for Gary. Then another piece of the puzzle for Gary, this is his personal life, is that they're at school. Julius comes up to Gary. They're high-fiving. His girlfriend, Emma, Gary's girlfriend, Emma, is there. He's like, oh, this is Emma, Julius. Julius sticks out his hand. She looks at them, walks away. I'm like, oh, no, Emma, you too? God, no, don't be that way, Emma. And so Gary's just having a personal meltdown, right? So again, we win that game. We win that second game, okay? But things are tough. Things are tense. Things are not great. After they win that game, all right, Coach Boone finds out that like a black, I don't know, council member or something, he comes up to Coach Boone's like, listen, man, I put you in a lose-lose situation. I just found out by the board that if you lose a single game, you're fired. Done. That's it. Just one game. And he's like, what? Wait a minute. Like, what am I supposed to do with my family? What? My girls just got in school, right?
Yeah.
And so, we get a chance to see a bit of the personal side of Coach Boone and his life, right? Jackie, I don't know how people do it in 90 minutes. This is so much. All right, let's keep going here. All right, here we go. So we're at the crux, right? We're winning. We've got about 4 or 5 games. We're doing okay, but things are still not great. So this is a big moment here because a meeting is called, but not by the coaches, but just by the players, right? So Lasik, big white boy offensive lineman, Blue, the singing defensive player, they bring all the players in and like, listen, man, we ain't nothing. If y'all thought we were great back at camp, but we're back in the real world, we're not really anything if we can't stay united, right? So we get, again, this big moment. They come in. Do you want the victory? We want They have a big moment, right? We feel good in the movie theater. Yeah. Rah, rah, rah. Right, all that jazz. And so again, now this is another montage moment. Disney drops the hits. Boom, we win 5 more 6 games. We're feeling good. We're united, right?
How many games are in this season? I don't know. They like 15?
They play like 11 games. They play 11 games.
Just curious.
In the regular season.
I have to tell you that I did a surfing episode of the Dork Forest, and one of my questions was, where do you park? Anyway, so I don't always get the sporting event, the details. It's a valid question. Okay, so there's like 11 games. Go ahead.
Yes.
But they've won.
All right,
they're winning.
Yes, they're winning. They're undefeated right now, right? So Coach Boone, he comes over one day. He invites Coach Yost to bring Cheryl over to the house, right? So Cheryl, right, Coach Yost's daughter, she's at the house with the Boones. So they're chilling. She's at probably the first black family she's hung out with without her dad, right? They're talking football. They're breaking down tape. Coach Boone is like, "Why don't you go play with like dolls?" And she's like, "I don't play with dolls. I'm not," Nikki says, "I'm accessorizing," right? and so as we see this character happen, boom, a brick comes through the window, right? Now, I found out today that in real life, it wasn't a brick. It was actually a toilet. Whoa.
What?
That was interesting. that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
So a brick comes through. And it's like, "Coach Cool, this is for you," right? And so this is a big moment, right? This is a big moment for everybody. It's traumatic, right? It's a lot happening. And the next day, Coach Yost is trying to kind of low-key reprimand Coach Boone because he's kind of prideful. He's trying to do this press conference and put on this big, strong, kind of bravado type of press conference. He's like, listen. Let's not do all that. Let's not go showboating. If your past sins led to whatever happened last night, he's like, whoa, Coach. You think my past sins led to a brick in my window? He's like, "I'm sorry that what happened to your daughter. I really am. But maybe your daughter got a taste of what my daughter goes through on a regular basis. Welcome to my world," right? And so again, this is another breadcrumb that opens up for Coach Yost's eyes here, right?
Right.
And so, and on both parts, they do a great job that we won't really get into of character development that both players and both coaches are really learning for. And that's another great thing about this movie. Everyone is evolving. Everyone is growing. It's not just the whites, not just the blacks. It's not just the parents. Everyone, the 17-year-olds, they're all growing. Most of them, right, are growing and evolving in the sake of time, right? So we get to the last few big games here, right? Now we're undefeated. Things are hype. Things are good. All type of stuff I could leave in, but we don't have time for it. We get to the second to last game. And in the second to last game, we have, is that right? The second to last game? One of the last 3 games. Okay. And if you're listening to this and you're a diehard fan, you're like, "Damn, you're all over the place." I know. You'll feel the pressure if you have to do this too. All right. So, we get to it, and Ray, right? Remember Ray. Ray's not a good guy here. Ray is not blocking for Rev. Ray lets a player come through. They're playing a very strong team, and Rev gets hit so hard, breaks his hand, right? He's out for the rest of the season. Oh, this is a big hit. This is a big blow, right? Yeah. Because Sunshine is a backup quarterback. He hasn't played. He doesn't know how to pitch the ball that well. He can throw long, but he can't throw short. So now he's thrust into action, right? And so Denzel makes up this last Coach Boone. He's like, "Listen, my mom and my dad both died in the same month. I was the youngest of 12 kids. I had to take over. You can do that too," right? And his assistant is like, "I thought you had 8 brothers and sisters." "I did, but it's better that way." And so
if you don't have a story, make up a story.
Make up a story. As a former teacher, I've done that several times to get kids to do their English work. Anyway,
exactly.
And so Sunshine comes in. He crushes it. He leads the charge, right? They're feeling good. Boom. Now they get to the regional championship game, okay? They get to the regional championship game. And before they get to the regional championship game, Coach Boone has a policy where he's like, "Listen, I don't cut players. If you come work out and you do your best for me, I'll never cut you. This is a public high school." Well, Gary respects this. He's like, "Yo, Coach, I need to talk to you. I think Ray did not block on purpose. I want you to cut him." He was like, "All right, but you got to do it, all right? You got to support it." So after the game, he's like, "Yo, man, hey, you off the team." He's like, "What are you talking about, dude? We've been through too much." He's like, "Nah, man, we move into something better and you ain't with it. So I said to get you cut." And he's like, "Oh, well, I guess it is your daddy's team, ain't it? Right? Forget it, right?" And so, he cut him deep. He tried to cut him deep. And so we get on, right? And eventually a few other things happen. Julius does get a chance to meet Gary's mother, right? As they're winning. The community, as I'm kind of moving through this quickly, the community is kind of slowly taking on, right? You get the montage of 6-7 wins. They're giving them free dinners at the diner, right? They're high-fiving, a cop
the community
is kind to Julius.
One cop is nice.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fill that guy. Let's get that guy a statue or a parade. Okay.
Absolutely. Facts. And so we're good here, right? Now we get to the regional championship game. We get to the regional championship game, and the opposing coach does not want to share video. They don't want to swap videotapes with Coach Boone, right? So he's on TV. He's got two great players. He's like, listen here, these are my two great defensive players, right? My two great defensive players. And I'll never trade tape with that monkey, right? And it's like, whoa, big words, big dog. These are big words, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said that on TV. And Coach Boone's like, okay, okay, all right, I got you, right? So they get to the regional championship game, right? This is before the state title. This is before they get to the finals. This is the second to last game. They get there. It's a tough battle, right? Boom, boom, boom goes. They win. Everybody's hyped. Regional championship. Let's feel good, right?
Right. Didn't need the tape.
We're outside the school. We're partying. Didn't need the tape, right? Oh, a side note, Coach Boone, Denzel, he goes to shake the other coach's hand. He doesn't shake it. He says, Coach. He turns around, throws him banana. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Why don't you eat that? Yeah. Fuck.
So we're back at the school and everybody's feeling good. We're cheerleaders. We're feeling good. We're like, yeah, let's do it, right? And so everybody's celebrating. So Gary is like, yo, Julius, let's go hang out. We're feeling good. Let's paint the town red. Julius is like, no, man, I gotta hang out with my girl tonight, man. I gotta hang out with my girl. And Gary's like, all right, right? And Gary's ex-girlfriend, Emma, right? She pulls up to him and she's like, listen, I guess I was on the wrong side of history. I'm not where you are, but I'm trying to get there. And it's going to take me some time. All right. We're like, okay, Emma, I see you. And so we see a little bit of development out of her. Right. And yeah. And so, Gary's like, do me this one promise. Do me this one promise. We're not together, but be there with us at the championship, okay, when we play Marshall. Like, just do me that. Come celebrate with us when we get to the championship game, right? All right. So Julius is like, I'm going to stay with my girl. Gary's like, all right, I'm going to go. Gary gets into the car, right? He's feeling good. He's saying goodbye to everybody. He's loving life. He gets in his little Mustang. Things are great. He points, hey, man, you the man. He revs up, takes off, vroom, bang, gets hit, automobile accident. I want to go back to when I was in, Gary. I want to go back to when I was in middle school watching this movie for the first time. When this happens, Jackie, in that middle school classroom, you could hear the wind blow. You could hear a pin drop. We are silent at the front of our seats and we're like, wait a minute. So we cut to the hospital. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Jackie, because I'm a grown man and I don't have anything to hide here, okay? I've seen a placenta. I'm a father. I'm a grown man. I do what I please. You understand?
Right.
Today, this morning,
Damon
I cried
Sumner,
at this moment.
Adult
man.
Yeah. 13-year-old, as a 13-year-old, you cried.
I didn't cry in middle school. I cried today, this morning, before this episode with you. I watched it again. And I was like, yes. I hadn't seen the movie in probably a few years, right?
Right.
And so I'm watching it and I'm just like, because so much has come together. They've worked so hard. They got to this big moment. They're right before the cusp of greatness and perfection and things are coming together. Then boom, real life happens. And you're just like, wait a minute, right? So we cut to the hospital. Everybody's there. Julius runs in. And he's just like, he's destroyed, right? He's just like, not my best friend, not Superman. Yep. That was a nickname, if you remember, where he was like Superman with the X-ray vision. That's right. He called him Superman. It's like, no. And his mom is there. Gary's mom is there. He's like, listen, because Julius is crying. He's like, Gary's mom was like, he doesn't want to see anybody but you. And those tears are not going to bring my boy back. I need you to go in there and be strong. So I'm just like, be strong, Julius, be strong.
Oh, God.
And so he goes in and he's all banged up. And the nurse is like, only Ken, right? And Gary's like, are you blind? That's my brother. and we have a sweet moment there, and right, and Julius, you know, he goes on, he kind of apologizes, like, listen, man, you would have been right here beside me. Go win the championship, right? Boom. We get to the championship game. Let's land this plane. We get to the championship game, okay? They're playing a great coach. They're playing a great team, right? And right, let's just dive right into it. The game's tough. They're losing. It's 7-0. They're hard fought. They're a step ahead of them, right? They're just matching them. They're out coaching them. Mm-hmm. So they're going to halftime 7-3. They're going. There's all type of subplots we don't have time for today. They're going to halftime though 7-3, and they go in there, and Coach Yote's daughter Cheryl, which is, by the way, a very like grown name. I've never met a 9-year-old Cheryl, right? Never.
Cheryl, if you could, PTA mom. Anyway.
That's exactly what that is. And so she's like, listen, Yotes, listen, Dad, this is not the time to be proud, okay? Your defense is getting beat. Ask Coach Boone for help, right? Take some humility. And so they go into the halftime. Now, this is the end of the movie here. So you're expecting a big rah-rah speech from Coach Boone or Coach Yotes, but Coach Boone doesn't give it. He's kind of like, listen, hey, we're going to walk out here with our heads held high, you know, we fought hard type of speech. And then Julius is like, no, with all due respect, Coach Boone, that's not what you demanded. You demanded more out of it. You demanded perfection. And before we came onto this field today, we have been perfect. We have not lost. So we are a perfect team. So if it's all right with you, I want to walk out the same way, right? And so everybody's like, yeah, let's go, right? Classic football movie, right?
Yeah.
And Coach Yost is like, you know what? Yeah. And I'm going to take some, Yeah, he did. And so Coach Yost is like, yo, I gotta take some humility too. Like, I need your help. He's kicking my butt over here. Help me out. Because Coach Boone did the offense and Coach Yost just did the defense, right? He's like, no, we want to win this thing. Let's go ahead and do this thing, right? Side note, just a little caveat is that, so go ahead. You have something?
No, I'm just in. I'm on board.
And so Ryan Gosling's character here, just a little side note here, he was a cornerback, a defensive player, who's basically his job is to stop. His goal is to stop the receivers from catching the ball. But he's not a great player. Sorry, Ryan Gosling. This is not your shining moment. This is not your movie. You are not the man. So he's like, listen, I want to win this thing. I don't want to lose, and it's because of me. Put Petey in. Petey had got benched because he quit on the team a few games earlier, right? And, oh, shoot, what just happened?
Oh, hell, you froze up.
Oh,
now you're muted.
Oh, no, wait a second.
We're having technical difficulties. It's a Zoom show, so there might be technical difficulties sometimes. Petey's about to save the day, and he's Damon Sumner, you guys. It's at Damon Jr. 2 on Instagram and at Damon Jr. On Twitter. So you're back. It's going to be huge.
Am I back?
I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yeah. What's going to happen here is it's a suspenseful moment where Petey is going to come in and save the day, but there has been a pause in the Dork Forest. Let's get back to it. What happened? Does Petey come in?
Oh, my goodness. Petey comes in. Apologies. Shout out to the Super 8 in Asheville, North Carolina. So we are, Petey's like, yo, like, listen, I appreciate this, right? Like, thank you for letting me come into the game. I let my team down. I let them down. And now you, Ryan Gosling, Alan, you like, you know what? I'm going to take some humility too. You're the better player. Get in the game. All right, so second half, we get into the game, right? Side note, Emma, she comes to the championship game like she said she would to Gary, right?
Even though Gary's
not there. Of course, he's watching the game at the hospital, but she finds... Absolutely. And so she finds Julius and she shakes his hand and says, I just wanted to introduce you, right? Trying to, fulfill what she said. It's a touching moment. Julius accepts it and it's a good moment, right? So we get to the second half, right? And we realize a couple things. All right, offense, you're going to play both sides of the ball. We need to get some points on the board, right? Boom, boom, boom. All right, we score. Now we are down by 4 points. Okay, fourth quarter. This is the end of the movie right here, Jackie. Let's take it home.
This is a sports. This is the best sports movie. This is how they all end. This is it. Let's hear it. They better not fucking lose,
Petey,
Damon. This is something I have to say out loud.
Gets a big turnover.
Ooh. Yes, Petey, go, Petey,
gets
go,
a big
Petey.
turnover. He gets a big turnover. Yes. Now he gets a big turnover. This is a big moment for him because he had let the team down. So this is the redemptive arc for Petey here, right? So now we've got about 30 seconds left. We got about 15 seconds left. We're down by 4. Fourth quarter, state championship on the line. Now Coach Boone is like, what we gonna do? Coach Yost is like, we gotta do something different. They know what we're gonna do. We gotta mix it up. We gotta throw them off their game, right? So they bring in Rev. Remember, Rev has been hurt most of the season because he broke his hand.
Yeah.
So they're like, what is Rev doing in the game, right? That's already gonna throw the defense off, right? So they do a play they never do because Coach Boone only runs like 6 plays on offense. They do this reverse. Run this way, throw it, run the other way. Very simple. Now, they've never done it all season, so they're not expecting it, right? So they do the play, and the music's loud, the crowd's on their feet, it's 7 seconds left. Hut, blue for the 2, hut, boom. They go, reverse to Rev. Rev gets the ball. 1 block by Sunshine, 2 blocks by Sunshine, 3 blocks by Sunshine. Touchdown! Game over. Titans win the game. Woo! Crowd goes wild. Woo! They do
Thank
it.
goodness. Yes.
They do it.
They win.
They win.
But
the crowd is integrated.
That is not the end of the movie.
No, that is not the end of the movie. That is not the end of the movie. All the celebration is excited, Jackie. We're hyped. We're ready to go. Things are good, and everybody's happy. Now, as we wrap up this movie here, a couple things I left out here for the sake of time. One, a few games earlier, Coach Yost, the white coach, if you remember here, he was in the Hall of Fame. They tried to cheat to kick Coach Boone out. The referees were going to cheat. Coach Yost told them to stop doing that, and he lost his Hall of Fame candidacy, right? And so as they win I know. As they win the championship, Coach Boone tells them, you're a Hall of Famer in my book. They hold the football up together. The crowd goes wild. It's a beautiful moment, right? Boom. Black screen. Now we're back to the funeral.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're back in 1981. All that joy we just had, Jackie. All that excitement we just had. We are now...
Who died? What happened 10 years later?
10 years later, Gary died, right? Gary died. He went on to win a medal in shot put Olympics, Special Olympics or something like that. But he dies 10 years later. And so now we're at the funeral. Everybody's sad and solemn, and we're putting roses down, and they sing their song that they had sung once or twice before in the movie. Na 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 na. Na 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 na, right? Hey, you got it.
Goodbye.
You got it. And
sure.
so, right? And so, Hayden, Cheryl, she kind of says a nice little voiceover again, and then they point at the cross near the casket, and then it goes black again. Boom. And then they play Ain't No Mountain High, Ain't No Valley Low to the montage of the end of the movie, showing where everybody else is after it.
Oh, okay.
And that is Remember the Titans.
That is Remember the Titans. I have 2 questions.
Please.
One, is Gary, did Gary get hit so hard he was paraplegic?
Yes, I'm sorry. Gary was paralyzed from the waist down.
Oh. And,
Yeah.
well, I guess this is tangential. Does Emma, do they marry? What happened?
We get no details about Emma after that.
We get no details
right there.
after
We get no
after
details.
the handshake.
I think she leaves off on a good note as an audience that she tried to redeem herself for Julius.
Right. It was just there was some learning curve. She gained some traction on humanity. Good for
Yes.
her. The learning curve very steep, and movies have constantly been trying to remind everybody about everyone's humanity, and this sounds like an amazing movie. It really, really is.
It's a great one. It's probably, I mean, Denzel's got so many great ones, and I'm biased, of course, but it's just really well done, and it's a top movie.
It's a top movie, and there's nothing wrong with this movie, because what I do love about sports movies is that they win, we learn something, it's Disney, it's heartwarming, and they can actually, talk about the thing about sports movies, it's sort of like comic books, it's like stand-up. They can talk about other issues because people want to see the team win.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're just like, no, we're going to slip this in. And it's going to be, you're going to learn about some bullshit that goes down. And no, you didn't know that? Oh, yeah. And another news, look. It's a team. It's like war movies do that too, right?
Yeah.
Where they're just like, we want to watch a bunch of guys in uniform, but we also get to learn that homosexuality isn't the devil's work. It'll be fine, or whatever.
It'll be
right?
fine.
It'll all work out. We are at an hour, so you did it exactly.
Woo!
Like you stuck the landing with timing. It probably makes you a real good stand-up comic, by the way.
I try my
Damon
best,
Sumner.
Jackie.
That's right. He's not running the light, Damon Sumner. What you
I'm
want? You are clearly on the road right now. And so if people want to watch your stand-up, if they go to Damon Sumner, SUMNER.com, and Damon is DAMON, they can see where you're doing stand-up. You have the podcast, which is Sum It Up with the Sumners. And they can follow you on Twitter at Damon Jr., DAMONJR, and on Instagram, Damon Jr., the number 2. That'll all be in the notes. Thank you so much. This is I love a blow-by-blow with a movie, so this has been fantastic. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you letting me get a chance to share it. Maybe I won't abuse my friends anymore when I see them here. This was a lot of fun.
Like, why don't you just listen to this? Here it is on a thumb drive. And where can people watch where did you stream it this morning? Was it on Netflix?
Disney Plus. I watched it Disney Plus.
Disney. That makes perfect sense. All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for doing the show, Damon. And Rangers, I say what I say every time. You know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?